In chapter 9, we're going to learn a very important skill, how you can import data from different type of applications or formatting, like how you can bring access database into Excel and deal with it as a flat table, or how you can import a text file with comma separator or tab separator into Access and deal with it. And we're going to learn a lot of how you can really enhance your Excel worksheet by adding hyperlinks or maybe even securing your Excel file with a password. And this is very short chapter, so let us start. First, how we can bring data from Access. Uh, a remark here I should make that you cannot use Access on a Mac computer. So if you're gonna use that exercise, you have to use Office 365, and even if with a Mac. So in that case, you're gonna do it on the cloud. And as I said at the beginning of the semester, each one of you has, as a WKU student, free access to download the 365. So if you wanna go back and see how you can do that. I think the first unit, the first week, there's some information about how to install Office 365 from WKU IT site. So the IT site is wku.edu slash ITS, IT security ITS, so slash SMS. Okay, that's where we can find all the software that you can download. So let me show you in a second. WKU slash ITS slash SMS. So you click on WKU Software Center, and as a student you have to log in and you will be able to download what you need. Also, I believe it's from here, from even without downloading from here, you go to Microsoft 365, give you some information how you can download it for Windows, Microsoft, and even for on your phone. Okay, so take advantage of that. Okay, so let us continue with this unit, how we can bring access, very easy way, information from database into Excel. And you will have the file, I have to
import data from it.
Just a second. So, and inside this unit, your specific unit, so pay attention that I provided you. So look at the chapter 9, and from there you should be able to see here's the access file you can practice with. Also, we're gonna use the text over here and the rest of Excel files available for you. Okay, so let us start.
Access database. On the Data tab in the Get and Transform Data group, click the Get Data button.
So inside Excel, you have to click on the tab Data and then Get Data. So pay attention.
Point to From Database and click From Microsoft Access Database. If necessary, navigate to the location of the Access database.
And that's exactly the exact file you have on Blackboard. Download it first and then practice.
Base. In the Import Data dialog, click the Access Database and then click the Import button. In the Navigator window, select the database object you want to import and then click the Load button. By default, the data will be imported as a table in the new worksheet. If the database is updated, you'll want to update the data in the worksheet. On the Table Tools Design tab, in the External Table Data group, click the Refresh button. To disconnect the worksheet data from the database, on the Table Tools Design tab, in the External Table Data group, click the Unlink button. Click OK.
So when you disconnect, that means if you updated the data in the database access file will not be reflected those changes inside Excel. Okay, so pay attention to that. Next, we're gonna do now importing the text file, which is really important, especially in those statistical packages that you're familiar with. So if you had used SAS or SPSS or Stata and you're familiar with files that was extension of comma separator value .csv, so we are learning now how to use those same files into Excel, how you can bring a text file into Excel. And again, the same file that's going to be shown in this video is available in Blackboard to practice with, and this is the file.
To import data from a text file, on the Data tab in the Get and Transform Data group, click the From Text/CSV button. If necessary, navigate to the location of the file. In the Import Data dialog, click the text file and then click the Import button. Review the data to be imported and click the Load button. By default, the data will be imported as a table in a new worksheet.
Exporting to text format. So if you have Excel, now just the opposite. You want to export it as CSV, comma delimiter, or as tab delimiter. So when you do this, you have a table in Excel, imagine, with all those numbers and heading, and what you want to do, you want to convert it to text. So it would be either comma separator between all the information in Excel, and then you will be able to open that file in some applications that cannot accept Excel as a file, but they do accept CSV file, comma delimiter file. And that's most of the time is the case. Most of the applications you will see in the Word will accept comma delimited file. So pay attention to that, it's really important.
To export a worksheet to a comma-separated text file, click the File tab. Click Save As. On the Save As page, click the Save As type arrow and select CSV, comma delimited, star.csv. Click Save. Excel displays a message warning that the text file format does not support multiple worksheets. Click OK to dismiss the message. To export a worksheet to a text format where the data fields are separated by tabs, follow the same procedure. Click the File tab. Click Save As. On the Save As page, click the Save As type arrow and select Text, tab delimited, star.txt. Click Save. Excel displays a message warning that the text file format does not support multiple worksheets. Click OK to dismiss the message. Click Yes to continue with the file in the selected text format.
Again, all that means that, as you can see, we have two tabs. So this error message is telling you that I'm going to convert this data here into a text data, but I'm not going to consider the other tab. That's the whole message. So if you want to convert more than one, you have to click the second tab and convert it as well. And to show you really what is all about, what this file, it means what is a text file. So this is how the data is going to be converted. Each data that used to be Excel will be separated. In this case, as a tab separator, not comma separator. Okay. I will download it. Let me show it to you as a student. You will be able to download it. Okay, save as. And let me open it. even as a note, it's okay. So this is the data, and let's say I want to save it. Mm, mm, mm. No. Okay, so let me open a Word document. Be better. Okay, so file, I'm gonna go and open the exact file that I have. This is the file, the service, just so you take a look at it. So this is how it looks. It's a comma separator. Say okay, open it for me. So it will look like this in Excel. Okay, and now if I open that actually in Access, sorry, in Excel, let's go back to Excel. File, let's say new, and from here, from the data, I have from text, that's the same file. Show you, get the data. It's telling me, okay, you have a delimited type of data. Say yes, next. It's separated, as you can see, as tab separator. This one, you might see comma as well if you it didn't really. So this is the name of the service. It's okay, that's it. Okay, so each column, it has specific information. And finish. Okay, existing, yes. So now you can see the data. So this is the text data. I can convert it now. If I select it, I can convert it into Excel now by creating a table and say, okay, my data has a table, yes. So now if I'm gonna save it, save as, it's in Excel. So now it's converted from text into an Excel file. Okay, so let us continue. Gonna insert data using flash fill, which is really good, just like buffer.
Flash fill detects patterns in your data and autofills the remaining cells for you. If flash fill detects a pattern while you're typing, it will automatically make an autofill suggestion. Press enter to accept the suggestion. If flash fill does not make a suggestion automatically, on the Data tab in the Data Tools group, try clicking the Flash Fill button to see if Flash Fill can find a pattern to autofill. Flash Fill can also be used to add text. Watch as Flash Fill recognizes the pattern and autofills the remaining cells in the column.
A very good way, short way, instead of typing all this information. Okay. Now converting data into columns.
To split data from one column into separate columns, ensure that there are enough empty cells to the right of the selected cells to hold the new columns. Select the data in the column you want to split. On the Data tab in the Data Tools group, click the Text to Columns button. The Convert Text to Columns wizard opens. If the data are separated by a common delimiter, such as a tab, space, or comma, click the Next button to go to step 2. Click the checkbox for one of the common delimiter characters, or click the other checkbox and enter the delimiter character in the box. Click Next. If necessary, select the correct data format for each column. Click Finish.
So as you can see here, it's really a quick, easy way that we had the information of the service divided into 3 different categories. It was like Manicure and spa, and then short, for example. The second one, okay, hair salon, cut, and short. So instead of having all this information in one text with comma separator, we separated them into three different columns. An easy way. Now we're gonna add what is called the data validation. Is important as well.
Select the cells to which you want to apply data validation rules. On the Data tab, in the Data Tools group, click the Data Validation button. To restrict data entries to a specific numeric value or values within a range, from the Allow list, select whole number or decimal. From the Data list, select a comparison operator. Enter the specific value or the minimum and maximum values. To require a value in every cell, click the Ignore Blank checkbox to uncheck it. When you have completed the data validation settings, click OK. If you added data validation rules after entering data, you may have invalid data in your worksheet. Click the Data Validation button arrow and select Circle Invalid Data to identify the invalid data entries in your worksheet. To hide the circles, click the Data Validation button arrow and select Clear Validation Circles.
Now we're going to use the data validation to give us an error or an alert for some input messaging.
When cells have a data validation rule applied, you can add a prompt that will appear every time a user clicks one of the cells requiring data validation. Select the cells that have the data validation rules applied. On the Data tab, in the Data Tools group, click the Data Validation button to open the Data Validation dialog. Click the Input Message tab. The Show Input Message when cell is selected checkbox is checked by default. This ensures that the user will always see the input prompt. Enter text for the message. You can also display a custom error message when a user enters data that violates the data validation rule. In the Data Validation dialog, click the Error Alert tab. The Show Error Alert after invalid data is entered checkbox is checked by default. This ensures that the error message will display whenever the user attempts to enter data that breaks the data validation rule. Enter text for the message. Click OK to apply the changes and close the data validation dialog.
Now we're going to look at how you can create a drop-down list from your data entry. So someone wants to do some type of data entries and automatically will be able to select one of them. Predefined list.
To create a drop-down list for data entry from values in a named range, select the cells where you want the list to appear. On the Data tab, in the Data Tools group, click the Data Validation button. In the Data Validation dialog, from the Settings tab, click the Allow arrow and select List. In the source box, type the equal sign followed by the range name. Click OK.
We're going to use the consolidating data in a summary sheet, how we can bring this into Excel.
To create a summary totaling data from multiple worksheets, first select the cells that will contain the totals. On the Data tab, in the Data Tools group, click the Consolidate button. In the Consolidate dialog, Sum is selected in the function list by default. Notice the cursor is blinking in the reference box, ready for you to add the first reference. Click the tab for the first sheet you want to include. Click and drag to select the cell range. When you release the mouse button, Excel returns to the Consolidate dialog. Click the Add button. Click the next sheet tab you want to add to the consolidation. Notice that Excel maintains the same cell range in the reference box, changing only the worksheet name. Click Add. Continue clicking Sheet tabs and clicking the Add button until all the worksheets are included. If you want the consolidation data to be independent of the data source, do not click the Create Links to Source Data checkbox. Click OK. To create a dynamic consolidation where the data will update if the source data updates, follow the same steps. Select the cells where you want the consolidated data. Open the Consolidate dialog. Delete any existing references by clicking each reference and then clicking the Delete button. Add the new references. Be sure to check the Create Links to Source Data checkbox before clicking OK.
Okay, that's a really good way to update information in one sheet in a way that you are summing all the other information in multiple sheets. Okay, so this is the last part of the first video of chapter 9, in which you use the first file that you can download from this link. Now for the upcoming, we can use the second file.